What is going on, guys? Happy Friday. This is going to be a little bit of an Eternals, I don't know, not a rant from Chris the Marvel Buff Nerd, but just my thoughts, because I am a MCU diehard fanboy. So much of the fact that, like, I have the shield on my chest, I have all this shit around me in the background. You can see my whole room is like 85-90% MCU art with a few things scattered in it. I love the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and I love my Marvel heroes. And I want that franchise to continue to do well over time. But it's no secret that the steam that we had a couple years ago with Infinity War and Endgame and the Infinity Saga leading up, it's just, Phase 4 is kind of, it's not a fart by any means. I mean, I've had some fun with it, especially with the Disney Plus shows, and I did enjoy Shang-Chi. Out of the last 3 Phase 4 movies we've gotten, I assumed Black Widow would have been my favorite, but I enjoyed Shang-Chi a good bit more, honestly, than I enjoyed Black Widow, which is kind of weird, but hey, whatever. Now, Eternals, unfortunately, I left with Eternals, and in the days since I've seen it, what is today? Today is Thursday, or no, today's Friday. I actually saw it last Thursday night. So, it's had a little bit to set and stew and whatnot, if you will. And I've listened to everybody's review of it here on YouTube. I follow a bunch of guys that I really listen to their opinions and take them to heart. I left the movie feeling exactly like I thought I would, which was meh. If I had to give it a rating out of 10, if that means anything to you, it's just an arbitrary scale. I don't know, 5.5, maybe a 6. I mean, which to me is just a line drive down the middle, maybe get on first or second base. Just mediocre. It's a movie. It's a movie and it exists, and that's what I can say about it. But there is things I really enjoyed about it. And there's a lot there to enjoy. And had it been done differently or lengthened or some way we could have had more beats with these characters that we're supposed to care about, so we actually come to care about them. But it's a movie, I can see that it's a project that I should have and could have had a lot of attachment and care for. And it's frustrating that I don't because of the way it was all handled, because I am such a big fan of this franchise and of the Marvel characters. So it's not that I come to you with this disappointment in the movie happily. Like, it's disappointment for a reason. I want it to be amazing. I wanted to get that scene where I had goosebumps and I felt like I wanted to drop everything and start lifting weights and kicking ass right then and there. I love those moments in superhero movies, and I never got that with this movie. I maybe got close a little bit. I mean, when Gilgamesh was punching things, that was probably the closest I got to that goosebump, like, oh, hell yeah feeling that you're supposed to get with a superhero movie. When Gilgamesh was punching and whooping ass, I really enjoyed his character a lot. So, and I really like Don Lee. He's got some biceps on him. I like the dude. He's always been juicy. So, that's probably why I felt that way with Gilgamesh. And spoilers, his death hit me the hardest probably. It was the most emotional part of the movie, I think, because naturally, he's the character, out of all the characters that die in this movie, he's the one that you had to spend the most time with and actually get a little bit of emotional attachment to. So, that scene actually did hit. But it's weird because there's a lot of things, it's beautiful. The movie is shot beautifully and it looks amazing, and it has this big, epic feel and vibe to it. And it just feels like everything needed more time and needed rethought out. And the Eternals all having the weaknesses and the quirks that they do, but they were all made to fight the Deviants. It just doesn't make sense. That's a lot. I know that a lot of people have harped on that, but why not give all the Eternals super strength and regenerative abilities and durability and flight? And, why not give them all those abilities? Why make so many of them glass cannons to where as soon as they get stabbed or something, they might be down for the count pretty soon, and you're relying on Ajax, Salma Hayek's character, to just come around and heal everybody, but that's all she has is just healing powers, basically? Like, other than that, she's a glass cannon? I mean, she can heal herself, but, I mean, there's only so far that can go. If if she gets wounded too much or the hit's hard enough, then she's down, and then you have no healer medic person. It's just weird. The team is just, when you think about what the team was created for at its base, and then you look at all the characters and all their quirks and who has what powers and who doesn't, it just doesn't make any fucking sense. It's frustrating that you're going to hear that word a lot in this video. It's all frustrating for a fan, because I can see where it could have been done better and where it could have made more sense, but it doesn't. And then you have the character I was looking forward to the most in the whole movie, Kumail Nanjiani and Kingo. He's the most fun character in the movie. And you have Kumail Nanjiani, who they didn't tell him he had to get big and muscular for this role. But he goes out and makes this life change in his mid-30s. He's been a skinny fat comedian, just nothing body type all his life, naturally. That's where his baseline is, genetically. And he goes and turns himself into a fucking Greek god, steroid-looking fiend. And I'm here for it. I love watching his transformation. And he's one of the only actors out there that is still actively keeping it up. Like, he's actually gotten bigger over the past year and a half. When he initially revealed himself and did the transformation pictures, he's even bigger now. And he loves the lifestyle. He's pursuing and continuing the fitness, weightlifting lifestyle. I love that. You have this guy that is so dedicated to that and made such a change in himself for this movie. And just because you didn't tell him he had to and it wasn't scripted, you can't give him a shirtless scene or a scene where he has that woo, kick-ass moment. Never. You regulate him to jokes and being a fake or a Bollywood actor, and you regulate him to CGI finger guns. That's it. He just walks around shooting finger guns, and then they put in some CGI blasts in post-editing, and that's it. And then they don't give him a shirtless scene. They don't let him show off his muscles. They don't let him show off anything hardly. And they write him out of the third act. Are you fucking kidding me? The character I was looking forward to the most, that was the most fun for me, and you're just gonna send him packing before the third act battle? I don't get it, man. Like I said, frustrating. Fucking frustrating. You're gonna get Salma Hayek to be in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and you're gonna kill her off 5 minutes into the movie and expect us to come around and have love and compassion for her character by the end of the movie and be sad about her death because of all the flashbacks we see? It's just ass backwards. So you're gonna have Salma Hayek come in here and you're gonna throw her away after 5 minutes essentially and give her fuck all to do in the film, really, aside from touching people and healing some wounds and saying that you have to believe in my leadership because that's the way it is. She's wasted. You bring these legacy actors in. You bring Angelina Jolie in to be Athena, the goddess of war. I'm like, man, I love Angelina Jolie. I've loved her all my life. She's been a bombshell all my life. She's 46 years old. She's still acting. She's in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Looks like she's going to be conjuring up some badass weapons and whooping a lot of ass in this movie, right? Nope. She has Alzheimer's. She has superhero Alzheimer's dementia. I don't get it, man. Once again, I just don't fucking get it. Yes, I know that there's a plot-related reason for the fracturing and the breaking of her mind, but that's what it is. It's superhero dementia Alzheimer's, where every time you think, other than the opening scene, where the opening scene is the one time you get the whole team fighting together, and it's fun, and it's a good time, because they're all working together and smiling and saying, hey, good shot, good job, awesome, everybody's working great. The first 5 minutes or so, that's all you get, and then the rest of it, the team is fucked up and fractured, and you're putting the band back together, and it's a 2.5-hour movie, and the last person of the band getting put back together isn't even in the movie until the 2-hour mark, and then it's time to do the 30-minute big act battle, and then we're going to have 15 different endings for this fucking movie, like it's Lord of the Rings, and then we're just going to set up some stuff for the future with characters you probably don't even know about unless you're a hardcore, deep-cut comic book reader. You can see why I'm so let down and so frustrated with this. Every time, back to the Angelina thing, every time you think you're going to get something cool out of her and it's going to be a cool fight scene, nope, her Alzheimer's thing kicks in and she just starts fighting her team. And so half the team has to take care of Angelina Jolie and not get killed by her because she's the goddess of war, so she's naturally the second, third strongest fucking person there. I don't know. I feel like if she was really after it enough, she could take Icarus down. And I feel like she, honestly, in her prime, was probably the best person on the team. Icarus has the laser eyes and the flight. Flight doesn't really do fuck all against her, and she can shield against his laser eyes for the most part. So I think that, honestly, she probably was and could have been the strongest or at least the most valuable player on the team at one point in time in her career before she had fucking Alzheimer's. But yeah, her eyes go white whenever something's time to happen. You can see lines in her face happening because the fracturing of her mind's going on, and her eyes just gloss over solid white, and she's in I'm going to kill everybody around me Omni-Man mode, and she can't be stopped unless Gilgamesh slows her down and touches her because they have a heartfelt connection. And so that's another tangent. All these people needed more time to breathe on screen. Like, if this was a Disney Plus series where all these relationships each got an episode to breathe, this could have been such a more rewarding series or film or whatever, or project, because you have this storyline of not really romance, but like a platonic love relationship between Gilgamesh and Thena. Because we have a moment where we can either wipe all of Thena's memories out, and so she won't remember anything, but it'll fix her mind, hopefully. Or Gilgamesh stays with her and they go live together on a farm, basically, and retire, and he just takes care of her, and whenever she goes into Alzheimer's fight mode, he fights back, he holds her at bay, he takes the bruises and the cuts, and he gets hurt, but he can bring her back every time because he loves her. That's a beautiful storyline that a lot of people would get emotional watching and going through. But we don't get it. It all happens off screen. They go off to live together, and then we catch up with them 500 years later or whatever on a farm, and Gilgamesh opens the door. He's listening to Johnny Cash, which was awesome. And but that's it. Like, you don't see all that happening where they've been together for so long and he's been watching her, and you don't get any moments where he's getting sadder and sadder because her mind is fracturing more and more, and there's less of the real Thena around him, and it's always this foggy, there's so much you can write there to make it really emotional and make you really feel for them even more. So when one of them does die, it's really gonna gut you. Like, oh my god, like, no, I mean, I didn't, but they don't. It all happens off screen because we just don't have the time to dedicate to that storyline. And I don't know what happened with Kumail Nanjiani for the third act battle. I don't know if he was filming something else, or if they just straight up were like, hey, we're just going to have one of the most charismatic guys we have in the whole movie that completely transformed himself and looks like a Greek god now. He doesn't need to be in the big third act battle. He can just go fuck off for a little bit, and then he can come in afterwards and do some high fives and act like he's been here the whole time, and we'll just act like we're just not going to bring it up. You just have to go along with it. Like, I just don't get it, man. It took me. It's the only Marvel movie I've drugged my feet to go watch in theaters over a week. Like, usually I'm there early opening night, every MCU movie. This one, I drugged my feet for a week. Finally went and watched it and left feeling the way I had anticipated I was going to leave feeling, which really sucks. Really fucking sucks, because I don't know where we're at with the MCU after this. I'm really looking forward to No Way Home. Hopefully it does its thing, and it's a lot of substance and style, not just style, because so far it looks like it's just style and nostalgia and not a lot of substance, but hopefully it's both. We've got Doctor Strange, the Multiverse of Madness coming up next year, which looks really good. Like, all these movies feel like they fit into the plan and the overarching story, whereas the Eternals just is like, it's like it was on a clipboard list somewhere and it was mandated. It's what it feels like. It feels like a mandated movie. Like, it wasn't really ever put into the overarching MCU story by anybody like Kevin Feige, but then somebody else was like, hey, we need to have this movie where we can have this big diverse cast and really appeal to all this crowd of people, so we need to make this happen, and it has to be a movie. We can't dedicate the time for it to be a series, so you have to figure out how to fit this character of 10 people that comprise this team into a movie that's 2 hours and 30 minutes long. Good luck. And make people care about him and make it make sense and seem like it's fleshed out enough, which there's just no fucking way to do that. So, yeah, it feels like this was just on a checklist somewhere as diversity and ambiguous motivations, the movie, and they were just like, hey, we got to make this. We've got to make the diversity movie still. Okay, we still have to make this. And they were like, okay, yeah, I guess we'll start making this movie. All right, and, you know, it just, I don't know, just the whole thing feels like a undercooked afterthought. Other than the fact that it's shot so beautifully, the cinematography, the direction, the color palette, the production values, the effects, and all that look great. It still is just a mediocre superhero film that when the action happens, it's great and it feels like a superhero film, and then the rest of the time it feels like it doesn't know what kind of movie it really wants to be, with a bunch of competing tones of, you know, sadness and anger and emotion and revenge and confused and yeah, but also comedy, and there's, yeah, I don't know, it just, as a huge fan of this overarching story and franchise in the Marvel Cinematic Universe and these characters, and wanting to find one person to love in this movie and really get attached to this movie, I tried and I couldn't do it. So, I don't know, guys. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. I know this video went way fucking longer than I ever anticipated. I just guess I had a lot to say about this movie as a frustrated, you know, fanboy. I am a fanboy of the MCU, and this just wasn't it. This wasn't it, bud. This was not it. So, guys, let me know in the comment section down below what you thought of this. What did you take away from it? Best movie ever? Worst movie ever? Somewhere in the middle like me. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell if you like what I'm doing around here. And catch you guys at the next one. Appreciate it.